couldn't resist. A little bit of Link Ray, just bashed out. That wasn't a prepared piece. I'm Steve Black, and you can see already on the screen, you can see the Black Classic Amp series. And so what I'm doing is bringing you an introduction to this series by way of a free giveaway. All the amps, the Black Classic Amp series and the free giveaway are going to be available at Gumroad, and I'm going to be putting the link down the bottom of this vid in the information. Okay, so the free giveaway, first of all, the Black Classic Amp series is designed obviously exclusively for Ableton, and all the amps, that's 10 amps in the Black Classic Amp series, plus this one amp that I'm reviewing today and offering for free. The philosophy behind all of this, and the reason I've done this, is because I've just tired so much of using third-party amplifiers where I'm paying a lot of money for them, and I wasn't happy with the results that I was getting in terms of what I wanted to get from guitar. B, there was infinite or seemingly infinite menu diving to get patches that were all ultimately for me a buzzkill. They were taking me off the game of actually playing the guitar, which is what I was here to do, and which is what I'm presuming that you as producers or guitar player producers like to do as well when you're working with Ableton. What I decided to do was to build amplifiers that were emulations or replications of amps from the past, some of them that I've actually had myself. And what I wanted to do, the principal philosophy of this, is that I wanted to have an amp that was beside me with a bunch of knobs, maybe 4, maybe 6, maybe 10 knobs. And if you think about macros, we can go up to 16 macros, I think. But just a bunch of knobs, no menu diving. What you wanted, you could get by tweaking, and that's what I've done to start with. You can see already that with the patches or the variations that I've got, I'm on what's called drive rhythm. I want to come off that for a moment. I'm just going to click on Jazz Clean. And so I basically got a clean sound with a little bit of reverb, and I can take that reverb away, of course, just by doing that. And we'll come back to that. I'll just come out of there, go back to it again, and it puts the reverb back in. That's what I wanted to have. I didn't want amplifiers that were offering everything from the production side. And we all know that when we're working with Ableton, we can be a producer, yeah, but we also want to be a player, and that's what I wanted to get to. I just wanted to be a guitar player sitting in my room as if I had an amplifier, without any of the fancy fancy delays and reverbs and multiple EQ stages, all this kind of stuff. I just wanted to have the amp, and that's what I've done, and that's why I designed the Black Classic Amp series and why I designed this particular one. This particular one is the Acoustic G60T. It was one of my first amps, as a matter of fact, and I built it up basically from reading schematics and reading about the amp and what it had, and did it from memory as well, because my old Acoustic G60T is long gone by the time that I'm putting this video together. So that's what I've done. That's the philosophy behind what it is that I'm doing. I've got some notes over here. I'm going to try to talk to these notes. They get minimized to the taskbar if I'm clicking on Ableton. And so at the moment, what you can see, and I'm not going to go too far into what you can see at the top of the screen. In fact, I'm actually going to close it out right now, because the view that I would really like to work with is literally what we're seeing now. When I'm in the studio, that's what I want to work with. This is, for all intents and purposes, the Acoustic G60T. The 60T had 2 channels. It had a normal channel, which is pretty much a clean channel, and it had a drive channel. You got to the drive channel, there was a foot pedal as well that you could use. It was an old wooden foot pedal. It's a really nice foot pedal that came with the amp. But in this case, I've remained faithful to the amp. I've got 2 channels, and of course you can get to those channels. As you know, right now I'm on Jazz Clean, but I could go to, we're on the normal channel, but I could quickly just move over. I'm probably a little bit out of tune. In fact, I know I am. All right, now that's just by putting on the going into the drive channel. Now we're back on the normal channel. Looks to me, if I look at it now, it's all good. It's all good. What I do notice, and what I've done to sort of work with the original, I decided to put some boost in just because of the variable guitar pickups that we all have on our guitars. And so what I decided to do was to boost before the tone stage, which is bass and middle and treble, and you can see those here. I'll talk about those in a little bit. And then, of course, before coming into that, I've got some additional gain as well. And these work depending on whether we're on the normal or, with the grit, which is where, if we're on the clean channel, I'm going to take grit away at the moment and just simply play. Just playing through a D. You can see that whatever I'm doing there in terms of velocity or volume or intensity, I'm not getting any distortion there. I'm going to back away a little bit from the reverb. Don't want at all to be masking, what the amp really is, with kind of more like a normal situation that you might play in. Now, on a clean channel, I always wanted the option, because this is what you get when you're playing through the G60. If you laid into it, of course, on the clean channel, yes, you are going to get some bite. There was a bit of wool there. And so what I did was to introduce what I call grit, and I could boost that up. A little bit there as it gets, and grit will make it louder, so this is where you have to gain match. So I'm going to drive a little bit more grit, but I'm going to bring back the master output just a little. And all of a sudden you can see that now we've got that little bit of extra bite when you lay into the chord. Which is a feature that I wanted to have when you're playing in the clean channel. I basically wanted to have that vibe of being able to play with a little bit of extra bite, just to emphasize what it is that as guitar players we all want and all do. I'm moving through this relatively quickly. I don't want it to go on too long. It's what you see is what you get, and I'm hoping that you'll try it out and find that it works for you. That's what I would really like. And if it doesn't work for you, then of course get back to me and let me know the reasons why. But I'm pretty sure, and I know I've had a lot of time playing with it more recently, and I'm really digging not just this amp but the other amps, and there will be promotional material on those, probably a little slicker than what I'm doing right now. Let's go straight into the tone stage. I'm going to drop away the bass in the middle just to show you what's going on with it. We move into the treble. Typically treble, I'm going to back away a little bit from the grit so we're not masking. Treble doing its thing. I'm going to take away the treble, bring out the middle. And it's doing exactly what a middle would do. Sometimes it can be pretty horrible when you push the mids. And with the bass, we'll bring that up. Doing its mojo. And then creating a sound that you might want to have. For me, I might go something like this. I always like to have a little bit more on the top. That should be fine for me. Does it nicely. It's what I want. With reverb, it's exactly the same, or when I say exactly the same, it's modeled after the tone stage is also modeled after the original. Low shelf on the bass, high shelf and a treble, and a bell for the mids. They're all preset to the specs from the original Acoustic G60T. It's an amp out of Van Nuys out of Los Angeles, made sometime during the mid to late 70s, and by the time I got one, which was the early 80s. Reverb, like I said, or was about to say, spring reverb, exactly like the original. And what I've done, which is not what was on the original, just a little extra thing that I added. I kind of wanted to work within rows of 6 or 8 or 12, 10 or 12 or 16, 14 too, if we go like that in terms of the macros within Ableton. This is obviously a 100% Ableton guitar emulation. So I had an extra one swinging on the macros, and I thought, well, it would be nice to be able to just vary the cut. It's about the only concession to production that I've done in this amp. I basically want that amp, and I want the amps to simply be the replica of the amplifier. That's what you've got. And the only concession to production that I've probably allowed in this one is the idea of having a low cut on the verb. The original did not have a master output. It actually went with the normal channel had its master out, and the driven channel had its master out, but there was no overall master out. I put this one in so that the grit, which was an introduction to try to get closer to what the real amp was, obviously when you applied grit, extra little bit of distortion, it was boosting the volume, and what I wanted was to be able to offer that grit, or to build in the grit into the sound, but at the same time to back it off, as I said, just to gain stage so that the volume wasn't just, you know, louder, and that's what you were getting. I wanted the tonal quality to be the most important thing. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. There are a multiplicity of, well, I've made around about 10, I think, variations, or in this case patches, but in this case variations within Ableton. If you're not familiar with variations, in the situation where there's a little dot has appeared just above jazz clean here, that means it's been changed in the period of time that I've been using it. But if I don't want to change the patch, I'll just simply go to another patch. To do that, I'm double clicking as well onto the new setting. It's kind of odd in Ableton the way they do this. I wish this was the how do I say, the mode of operation, that when you click on the patch, just like I've done then, yeah, sure, the arrowhead is a light. I know it's a drive rhythm, but as I glance at it, I keep seeing fusion clean. Only way around that is to double click on the name. That way I know I'm in drive rhythm. Come back to fusion clean. A little bit of volume in that one. It might just be in my headphones, but I hope it's not too loud for you out there. Drive rhythm, obviously giving a lot more, and that in fact is, you can see I've moved over to the drive channel. These are not static, of course. You could change this. For me, that's far too much sort of dirt in all of that. I'm just going to bring the boost back a little bit. This is what I was playing at the very start as well. I kind of find that much more workable, and in so saying, that little asterisk that is there means that's the one that I'm working on. I have changed it. Well, now I'm going to snapshot it. And so I can come back to it now, click into Fusion Clean, come back to Drive Rhythm, and you'll notice my boost is way down. And I've got a sound that is more into what I'm feeling at this point in time, given what I'm doing and showing you how it all kind of works. There's a drive lead if you want to get into all that kind of stuff. I haven't got a pick in my hand, but really sounds like the original, because I can remember that sound, and I'm not just saying that as a means of saying yeah, you know, whatever. In fact, that's what that drive lead sound sounded like on the original. I've got what's called a pedal platform. It's pretty well neutral, and it would be not much different actually than if I took the amplifier off altogether. It's pretty similar. You can hear a difference, just a little. We're definitely going through an amp now, but the reason I've got the pedal platform is because you might want to in Ableton put a fuzz or a distortion ahead of it. You might have a pedal board that you have even externally that you want to use, but you just want to use the amp. All good. A bit of blues breakup, which will probably have a little bit of, if I go into it, you can see that I've got some grid on that, some boost, but it's still in the clean channel. And if I'm to... typically that kind of a thing. Dark jazz is probably, if I click on that, it'll probably be clean, and it is. A little bit of grit, bit of boost, and probably a dash more reverb, I'm sure. Bright pop, ambient wash, distorted top, all these kinds of things. You see in distorted top, obviously we've got more treble. And of course you can build and add to these. If I took distorted top to start with, let's just say I wasn't happy with things there. I think there's a little too much gain. Just bring that back a little bit. Obviously we got the boost that's really laid out there. Let's drop that right back. Okay, let's say that's the sound that I want to go with. I don't necessarily have to change this. I can just click on New, and that'll bring me up at the bottom. Variation 1, it's already alive, and I'll just say, rename that to Steve's go-to, for example, because I kind of like that sound, as simple as that was. Yeah, that's about it. You probably have noticed I haven't opened up too much more of what's taking place under the hood. Primarily, that's again the philosophy. Yes, I could take you through what I've done and build and go right through it. You'll definitely be able to read about that and see that in the volume of 10 amps that are the paid version. But I didn't want to do that in this particular go around. What I wanted was just to show you that this is the amp and this is what it does, and they're the controls that you've got, and you know they're typical of so many different guitar amps. One thing that I have done, and where I will open it up just a dash, is that I have built in a tuner in this one. There's two tuners, as a matter of fact. Here is a tuner that you can go to tune, but you have audio still. This is a new edition. I've actually just put this in today ahead of actually putting it on up to Gumtree later on tonight or tomorrow morning. I wanted that one there because of the immediacy. It means that you don't open up the whole rack. If I close that out right now and then come over here, if we come in to this little baby here, which opens up everything, you'll see here we've got a tuner, and the way that this will work is simply moving the dial from 0 to 2, and then there's our tuner. You can see that I'm plucking a string, but there's no sound, and there's reasons and times when you don't want to have a sound, and obviously times when you do want to have it because you want to do it quickly. Everyone's different in that way, and so I've created both options there, so they're definitely there. Okay, that's it for me. I want to get out of here, so I hope that you enjoy playing through the amplifier if you decide to download it, and I hope you do. And yeah, any feedback or any questions on what I've done or anything like that, or on the 10-pack that's coming up, just let me know. All right, good to be with you, and good playing and good production. Catch up.